Hey guys, Mighty Gazelle here. We just watched Samurai Jack episode 7 of season 5, and once again, this is on a loop, I've said this every episode, but we just got another fantastic, beautifully done episode of Samurai Jack. There's a lot to say about this episode. Like usual, I'm going to go through step by step and kind of give my thoughts as to what happened as best I can. I'm not professional, so don't expect super amazing, accurate details of everything that happened. I'm a fan first and foremost. So the episode starts with them flying on this like giant bird, which is kind of funny, and Jack says like, "Okay, this is where we're going. This is where my sword was lost," and we get a flashback of Jack climbing this spire, this very tall mountain, and he's followed by these little cute little goats. And it's old Jack, by the way. It's like him without the beard, and he still has a sword, and he's wearing his kimono, his white kimono. And we get to the top of the mountain, where there's a surprise. There's a time portal right there, and he proceeds to jump in immediately. Doesn't even hesitate. Just jumps in, and as he's floating down, like traveling back through time, which is crazy to think about, Aku reaches his hand in there, pulls him out, like yoink, and they get into a confrontation. And there's a lot of speculation as to how well Mako would be replaced by Greg Baldwin. And up until now, we haven't had a whole lot of Aku to base that off of. This is our first kind of like cool interaction between him and Jack that we've seen. And honestly, Greg Baldwin did a very good job. I don't know what anyone else is going to say walking out of this episode, but I think that Greg Baldwin did as good as he can possibly do to replace Mako. At times, I don't even notice that it was a different voice actor, if I'm being honest. It's actually kind of nice because it's almost like a different take on the character, but it's a good take. It's at its core, it's the same voice. Mako, he could go that little extra level to make it like to bring the character to life more. Greg can't reach that, but he can do his own thing that Mako couldn't do, which is kind of like be a little bit heartier, like deep, because he's got a heavier voice. Basically, Aku says that he destroyed all the time portals, and that was the last one. And Jack proceeds to lose his shit and go after Aku. And then Aku transforms the three little goats that were following him into giant ravenous monsters. Jack proceeds to kill them, but after he's done killing them, they revert back to little sheep. And he's like, oh my god, I just killed these cute little sheep. And his sword gets knocked away, and he drops it, and it kind of rolls away. And the pillar falls over, and his sword falls, and he just loses his sword that way. We all assumed that he lost it from some grand battle against some enemy, and that's how he lost it, based on the flashback and the green images. We thought maybe it was the omen that made him lose it, but no, it's almost entirely in his mind and his heart that how he lost the sword, which leads to the question: how did he lose his sword? Because he was doing evil with the sword by killing these innocent little sheep, or did he lose it because he lost his way? I'm gonna go with he lost his way because that's what happens later, but. That, and he was just defending himself against the sheep. It was, non-factor. Basically, him and Ashi, they float to the bottom of the pit on the bird, trying to find it, and they can't find it. And he says, okay, this is what I figured. I didn't, physically lose the sword. The sword decided to leave me. So he goes up to meditate, to try to regain his focus on his path. And from here, the episode splits into two different kind of storylines. Jack with his meditation and Ashi with the battle that commences. I'm going to focus on Ashi's first. I'm going to go to Jack's second. So while Jack's meditating, Ashi notices a giant army approaching of orcs, almost like straight out of Lord of the Rings. It's really cool. And she confronts them. She jumps in front and says, okay, you better turn around now. What are you doing here? And then a really classic line. This is so funny. They're like, we're on our way to kill the samurai. Why? What's it to you? Just kind of funny. And then she's like, that's not going to happen. They all laugh at her, and then they all proceed to charge at her, and she just John Wicks all of them. People said that Samurai Jack John Wicked the sisters. No, this is some John Wick shit. This is she killed straight up 10,000 of these orc people. And for anyone who says, oh, she can't, there's no way that Ashi could easily do that. Listen, two things. She's trained her whole life to kill the most badass person to ever live in Samurai Jack. I don't care how many people there are, those orcs don't even come close to Jack's skill set and his level, so even one of Ashi can easily fight them. That, and she has a newfound sort of friendship slash connection to Samurai Jack. So she's going to do her best to defend him. And she proceeds to just... God, I hope you guys actually saw the episode, but damn, she straight up just kills them easily. She breaks their spears in half, throws the pointy ends at them, sticks them in their freaking head, and proceeds to punch them to death, and she's covered in blood, and she does this badass battle. And when she's done killing all of them, she notices a figure going up the mountain. Now, I originally thought that this, like when I first saw it in my mind, I was like, huh, that figure might be like the Spirit Jack, and she has to go like confront him or something like that. But no, it was the priestess, cult woman. I can't remember her name. We're gonna just call her Mother, because it's Ashi's mother. She goes up there to finish the job to kill Jack, because I'm assuming that she led this army to fight them. Which brings up the question, how does she know where they were at? I'll get to that at the end. But basically, her and Ashi fight each other. And she says, you have a chance to redeem yourself right now, Ashi, if you kill the samurai. And she says no, and they proceed to fight. And literally, the scene comes where the mother like takes off her robe, and it's like all like she's like skin tight suit underneath, and that's gonna spawn. I guarantee you, if you go online after this, extra thick memes are gonna be all over the place for this chick, and they're gonna call her like various names. That's just how the Samurai Jack community's been. Calling that out now because it's gonna happen. They fight each other in a really cool high octane fight, and eventually Ashi throws an arrow like a javelin to stick through the side of the mother, and she falls off the cliff. Calling it now, she's not dead. There's no way she actually died from that. I'm sure she'll show up for the finale when Jack's fighting Aku. I'm sure she'll fight the mother again, something like that. So that's what happened. Okay, then a thing falls over and lands on Ashi, and she gets very hurt and kind of like knocks out Ashi. Now we get to Jack. Jack's the real meat of the story here. He starts to meditate, and he finds this peaceful field where he's just kind of wandering, and this is kind of like a spirit realm of sorts kind of thing. And he goes on this raft, and he starts going down, like rowing himself down this river, and he finds himself at this little hut of a Chinese gentleman. I'm assuming he's Chinese or Japanese. I don't even know. And he asks him if Jack is lost, and Jack says yes, and the old man says excellent, and he invites him in for tea. And this is such a beautiful callback to what Samurai Jack is. Samurai Jack, at its core, does its storytelling through visuals. There are minutes that go by where there's no talking whatsoever. It's just Jack making tea for this guy. And it's just so beautifully done. He makes the tea for the guy, and the guy says, no, it's not good enough. All the ingredients are here, but the proportions are wrong. Like you didn't have, you're missing something to it. And then we see an old friend pops up. It's Spirit Jack. We haven't seen him for a few episodes. Last time we saw him was episode 4, I think. But this time he is full on rage form. He's taking on the color red, and he gets mad at this old man for refusing to tell him where to go. And Jack says, no, you need to calm down. And he says, no, I'm not going to calm down. I've been keeping you alive all this time, blah, 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 blah. And Jack just calls him out and says, no, you're the reason that we haven't been able to finish this quest. You are my anger, you are my doubt, my fears, all personified, and you are holding me back. And then Jack proceeds to swipe him away in one of the most satisfying moments ever, because he just... anything that was left that was really holding Jack back really just got swiped away right there, because that was his doubt, that was his fear, his anger personified, and he swiped it away. And the old Chinese man agrees and says, you finally found your way. And then Jack's transported to being put in front of the 3 gods that I mentioned in my previous kind of prediction videos, like what if they came back, because they're out there still. And they say, just like your father, you are the one who has to do this, and we have deemed you worthy again. And they give him the old-fashioned Jack makeover. They give him his old kimono, they get him his beard shaved, and they get his hair done, and they give him his sword back. And, man, it was such a satisfying moment. A lot of people liked the beard, and I like the beard too. But, come on, this is how Jack's supposed to be. This is the badass... samurai that we all know. Like, beards are awesome, don't get me wrong. I'm probably gonna shave this one, but you know, it was such a beautiful scene. And then Jack wakes up from his meditation, all badass in his kimono and everything again. He's got his sandals. They gave him his sandals back too. That was just a nice touch. Like, they could have made him go barefoot, and you would have been like, okay. But they gave him his sandals back. And he rushes over to Ashi, and she wakes up, and she says, hey, you got your sword back, and you shaved. And Jack's like, yes, I guess I did shave. And he's like, you've been busy. And he looks around at all these, like, corpses and everything. And it was just it was a cute kind of callback to what happened last time when Jack complimented her hair and her dress. This time she compliments, like, hey, you got your sword and you got shaved. It's just, this show, it's so good. It's so good. 3 episodes left. Come on, just never stop, Genndy. Just, I guess all good things come to an end, though. Last thing I want to mention, it's kind of interesting that the mother knew where they were. Hero High, the channel that I mentioned before, he had a nice sort of theory video where he thought that the High Mother, the whatever her name is, can get inside Ashi's mind and kind of see things. This could be a supporting fact to that theory as to how she knew where they were. Anyway, I think she's still alive, and the episode ends with Jack saying we need to go find Aku now because I need to end this shit. All in all, it's just a beautiful episode. The fact that I get so much information into one episode and it's so beautifully done. 25 minutes have never flown by so fast in my life. It's honestly just incredible. Yeah, that was my review. I cannot wait till next week. We only have 3 left. I wouldn't be surprised if I cry in one of the upcoming ones because it's going to be pretty emotional. So, yeah, I hope I did justice to the episode. Again, not professional, but want to give you guys my thoughts about it. Until next time, this has been Mighty Gazelle, and I hope you all have a mighty day. See you guys.